Hi everyone, I'm going to call this the first video for South America. We're going to save the particular countries for our second video, and this video is going to give you the overarching themes of the landforms, natural resources, and water systems of South America. Our objectives are for this portion, are to describe the major landforms and water systems of South America. We'll discuss the climate, natural resources, and natural hazards, and also the physical geography of South America. Our two vocabulary words are llano and llano. That's the same word pronounced different ways. A lot of the times the double L in Spanish is pronounced with a y sound. Anyway, the llano or llano, however you choose to refer to it, is a treeless, grassy plain, and this is an actual physical region in the South American continent. Same thing with Pampas. The Pampas are grasslands of South America, and that is another region that we're going to discuss within the continent. So we're going to get right into the South American landforms. You will see this map again, so make sure that you are familiar with the different regions. We're going to go through each one by one, but make sure that you use this as a reference point when you're thinking about the different landforms of South America. First up, we have the Andes Mountains. The Andes Mountains, as you can tell, are this brown shaded area, and it runs almost from the very top of the continent here in Colombia and Venezuela all the way along the west coast down to the southernmost tip. It's about 4,500 miles long, and it's the site of some of the world's largest volcanoes. This is a portion of South America that's involved with the Ring of Fire. The Andes Mountains are also the source of the continent's major rivers, and its highest peak is over 22,000 feet high. Next up, we have the Amazon Basin. The Amazon Basin is more than just in Brazil. It covers most of the northwest region of South America. The Amazon Basin is also called Amazonia, and it is home to the world's largest rainforest, the Amazon rainforest. It covers about 1/3 of the continent, and this basin provides water for nearly half of South America. The Amazon River and its more than 1,000 tributaries run through the basin's center. Rainfall is plenty here, and it averages more than 200 rainy days a year and approximately 100 inches of rain annually. Next, we have the Atacama Desert. It's primarily located in Chile, but we do have some areas of Peru and Bolivia in the Atacama Desert. It's located high in the Andes Mountains, and it's a very cold place that receives little precipitation. It is a cold desert. Few people live here. It's relatively small in comparison to the world's other deserts, about only 100 miles wide and 625 miles long. When the warm winds from the Pacific on the west blow across the Atacama Desert, the area can become blanketed in fog. The Guiana Highlands are in the northern part of the continent, occupying Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, and then the northern portion of Brazil. They're approximately 1,000 miles long, and they go from Venezuela to the tip of Brazil. And as we talked about in our second video with the rundown of all of the countries, the Guiana Highlands has the Angel Falls. It's home to Angel Falls, which is the world's highest waterfall pictured here. As you can see, there's many waterfalls that are coming off of this plateau in the Guiana Highlands. Pampas, which is one of our, or Pampas, which is one of our vocabulary terms, is a large grassy plain which extends from the Atlantic Ocean over in the east into the Andes Mountains. The Pampas lie primarily in Argentina, but they extend into Uruguay, and it covers approximately 294,000 square miles. This area is home to many South American cattle ranches, and the cattle ranchers are referred to as gauchos. Next up, we have Llanos or Llanos. This is an area also in the northern part of South America. It extends into Venezuela and Colombia. It covers about 225,000 square miles, and it's a wide, fertile, grassy, treeless plain. It would be good for agriculture in this area. We have the Brazilian Highlands. The name kind of speaks for itself. The Brazilian Highlands are only in Brazil, and they are in fact high land. It's about 800 miles long, and it's a little bit smaller than the Guiana Highlands. This area is home to several mountain ranges as well. Next we have Patagonia. Patagonia is this region that is pretty much the entire southern portion of South America. It's very, very beautiful there, so it's popular with tourists. The landscape is rugged and barren, so not much being grown there, but it is very popular with tourists. It is located south of the Pampas, and it's in between the Andes Mountains and the Atlantic Ocean. Water systems of South America. South America has one of the most vast and important river systems on our planet. Its four largest rivers cover close to 3/4 of the continent, and these rivers all flow into the Atlantic Ocean. Most of you have heard of the Amazon River. It is the world's largest river in terms of volume. One of the reasons the Amazon River has the greatest amount of water is because of its location. It's situated on the equator, and there's a large quantity of rainfall due to this tropical area. Remember that there's about 100 inches annually. Another reason the Amazon carries a large volume of water is because it is the drainage basin for the entire northern part of the continent. So all of the rivers in the north drain into the Amazon River. Next up, we have the Rio de la Plata. This is important because this is a confluence where three major rivers in South America all converge and empty into what is known as the Rio de la Plata. The Rio de la Plata is considered an estuary, and so an estuary is basically where fresh water meets salt water. So it's where the river water meets the water from the Atlantic Ocean. It is the largest estuary in the world. The Orinoco River is originating in the Guiana Highlands in the northern part of the continent, and it flows in a westward arc into the Atlantic. Remember, all of the rivers flow into the Atlantic in South America. This river is the most northerly river of the four major river systems, and it flows largely through the rainforest and savannas of Venezuela. The São Francisco River is the fourth largest river in South America, and it is located completely within the country of Brazil. South American lakes, there are many lakes in South America, and these lakes are located in and around the Andes Mountains. The highest lake is Lake Titicaca, which is the highest navigable lake in the world. This lake lies between Peru and Bolivia and is 120 miles in length and extends to 50 miles wide in some places. It's a very, very large lake. The climate of South America is as diverse as its landforms. As you can see from this colorful climate map, there are a lot of different climates represented in South America. Although most of the continent receives enough rain, some areas are plagued by drought. For instance, the Atacama Desert is one of the driest places in the world. This is a map that we've seen before, but I want you to note, again, the colorful nature of South America means that its climate is very diverse. The closer we are to the equator, the more tropical the climate, and the farther away from the equator we get, the more temperate or moderate the seasons and the climate would be in this southernmost region of of South America. I'm going to post this video on El Nino in our video resources for South America so that you can have everything in one place. But it is important to know that El Nino is a weather phenomenon that doesn't have great effects for South America. In El Nino years, they occur every 2 to 7 years, and it's basically due to warm water flowing towards South America as opposed to away from South America. And so what happens as a result is in El Nino years, there are a lot more natural disasters that plague South America, and it affects not just South America but different parts of the world as well. I urge you to make sure that you watch the video so that you have a greater understanding of the El Nino weather phenomenon. Last but certainly not least, it leads us to the natural resources of South America. Guys, the rainforests are an immensely valuable resource for the world. However, they're unfortunately being burned right now, largely because that land is trying to be reclaimed for farmland. The Amazon rainforest has been termed the lungs of the earth because of all of the carbon that the trees absorb, and so it's very important for all of us on Earth, but unfortunately the countries of South America haven't done the best job at preserving it, unlike our friends in Central America. Other natural resources in this rather large continent is mineral resources including gold, oil, copper, iron ore, and tin. That wraps up this mammoth of a continent. It is the 4th largest continent. And between the two videos, you should have a pretty good understanding of just the basics of South America.